Like, I think around 6 in Buruburu.
Buruburu
Buruburu
police.
police station. And then I'm like, why am I here? And then I opened up my eyes. I saw that Pujo with blood stains. Then I asked, where's my husband? And then, yeah, I think somebody just cruel. Somebody showed me there. And then it's called that police boat van. Somebody was lying there. Somebody said that with my husband. Passed away. I found myself in the hospital. That things could not happen. But I don't know, just maybe God or just God. I got just encouraged. I think they could inject me with what? Drugs that could make me sleep. Then I was brought back in the house at around 9 p.m. The relative was there. My 2 little girls were there. They told me, by the way, we loved ice cream so much. Mom, we let ice cream. You know, that's what they asked me. Lovians was basically, Lovians was 8 years, Cheryl was 7 years. So they were little girls. They could not think about so much. And then their dad used to go to work. So they thought dad was still coming back. Because in that house, I think they slept. Yeah. Things happened. That was, Sunday came. The doctor said that I had to be under the doctor's care like every day because the cervix was open, and that's when I learned when it's like you are 8 months, they can't induce anything. The kid has to undergo that kind of process until 9 months. At least when they were saying that I wish you were 7 months, you could have induced, but with 8 months they could not. Then I said it's all right. So it was a moment that I could be taken from my house very early in the morning before the mourners came to the hospital. I stayed there up to night, then I come back. It was a moment that I would not like my worst enemy to pass through. It was a moment, I was just 27 years old. So it was tough for me. I'd never imagined, despite that I stayed with my mother, when my mother was a widow, I'd never known it was that painful, you know. It was so painful, and I did not want somebody to think of me that I'm a widow. I didn't want to think of that. Then things happened. The time came, the next Thursday, just 4 days. At least my husband was a good man. He had a very good employer. The employer said that Muga will not stay here for long because of the wife. He did everything. He asked everything, give them the budget, everything. In fact, he took care of us, plus my children, very well. Everything to make us go home. Then the doctor came, there was a problem. That I could not go home. That in my situation and condition, he can't give his consent. But being adamant as I am, I said that I have to go with my husband because this was love made maybe in heaven. I said no. I just have to. The doctor gave the second option. If I'm going home, I have to fly. I said, only if my husband is also flying, we'll fly together. But if it's going by road, I'll use that. Eventually, we went by road. First things first, we buried. As I told you, my in-laws are very good people.
It was so hard for you at that situation.
It was the hardest moment in my life. People do not understand. I think I'll understand because I've passed through. When we reached home, my husband or a man of people back at home. Every good people, everybody people, name them all. Even the bus could not move. When we reached home, it was just the pain you could see in everybody's eyes. As hell will love it, I thought that was my moment of dying. When I was removed, I was down. But I could hear people saying, let that woman cry in Kijanu. Weuru mama no yuagichore. I felt so bad. I had no strength. My strength was like gone. That's why I'm saying that people be good to people. Like when such moments happen, you do not know what somebody's passing through. That thing only made me feel so bad. But after everything was done, within 2 days or 3 days, my father-in-law said that only in Nairobi there are good doctors, I get back. My doctor also, I traveled with nurses actually. When I came back to Nairobi, life became so hard. So I had to face people. I had to come and face people that I used to work with them with the husband. You see, by then I was so bad, After
Okay, that time, how old are you? Because
I was
slept for what?
27.
27 years. What?
Yeah, I was 27. Just a young girl now I'm just getting into life, you know. Then things had happened. I had to accept this. In fact, I remember I had my Pastor Kamutu. He's still my best friend to date. Pastor Kamutu was in a camp meeting. It was during camp meeting because it was August. He was in a camp meeting somewhere. He had to come back. The wife was always with me. Then one day, Pastor Kamutu was praying. I told him, Pastor Kamutu, please don't preach. Don't preach. Because I'm thinking God is not there for me. I grew as an orphan. I'm getting my love life. I'm getting a man who loves me so much. Then he goes. He leaves me 2 kids. Because, you know, like we pray, God knows there's a reason towards all this. What reason? Nikambia Pastor Kamutu,
Question God.
if you are going to tell me the reasons why God saw me, this young girl, to take my husband away from me, he wasn't sick, somebody decided to take his life. If you'll tell me these questions now, then you pray in this house. I want to know why God took my husband, why there are so many big women whose husbands should go. I'm still young. These kids, how will I raise them? I don't even have a job. Then Pastor Kamutu, he had nothing to tell me. I told that in my house, if you have to do anything, it's just singing. By there, my house people are just singing. The rest, I didn't want. You preach when I'm not there. Because I didn't understand why God was doing this to me. Things happened, I came back. I went into depression. People could talk sense to me, but I'm not seeing that sense. I was assigned to one doctor. But as kawaida, he tried whatever he could do. He tried every means. It reached a point that he started having advance on me. And then I came to think. And that was the moment I stopped again. So that no one, I'm still married.
Guys who?
Like the doctor now. The doctor was like,
okay.
Now he started having advances, telling me things about relationship between me and him. Then I said no. I'm still green, and this time I'm going under depression. I could clear it like throughout. When I could just face the path we used to follow together, because we were a couple that could walk together. There's a lady in our church. Moja called me Sochanda, can I testify to this? Even if he doesn't go to church, he could take me to church, come and pick me up. So I was like, what is this person telling me? He's telling me nothing. Then I stopped. Then one day I dreamt that my husband came, brought for me ndizi. He loved bananas. I said, Mom, you have to take care of the kids. He came to me as if he had died, and he was talking to me. Then I said that it's all right. If he said it was talk to me, then I'll follow. Then by that time I just started being strong. I went to church now, full blast. Another problem came, stigmatization. The friends I used to love so much, these women, when I'm going to next to them, they like disperse. I felt alone. Because
maybe they are talking about their husband.
I had the first hit when somebody faced me and told me not to go to her house because he's seeing the husband like he's having some kind of feelings.
That time you're 27, you're at your peak, you're pretty.
And by that time I was a beautiful girl, not like today.
You're still beautiful, Mom.
I was very beautiful by that time. Actually, to be honest, I was with good shape. Now, this woman tells me that don't come to my house. Then I'm like, what? This is what I'm feeling. I also had a very handsome man in my life. But it's all right. My mother came. My mother advised me that, my daughter, you are going to be a dustbin. And you have to accept that. My mother told me I'm going to be a dustbin. Nobody checks what is throws inside there. I'm going to be a doormat. Hata kama uko na kiatu chafu waje, somebody will just step on it and do what? And get in the house. And Mom, that's me. No, it can't. If you accept that, you'll move on. Then it happened. I got job. Because by that time when he died, I didn't have job. So at least this kind of job started taking some of my pain. I could concentrate on my work and I could do it really good. Things happened, and I said that I could relate to these women, and these women talking to me because they have that, I don't have this, nobody will do it for me. Then I just prayed. By the way, my knees have been my steady points. My strength has been on my knees. When I get to my bedroom, I pray like I've never prayed. I tell God that if it's God who gives couples, what about me, a single woman? And I told God one thing. If at all my kids will miss things that they used to get when their father was there, let me die. I told God that I want my children to have the best life so far. Because you told us, you promised us in your books that you are the father to the fatherless. You are the husband to the husbandless. So you are my husband. I know you'll never die. You are the father to my children. You'll always be there for them. I have to get them. When my children went to school, when they come, Mom, you know, asking us that, hey, we stay as if we stay good life. Then I was like, God, that's what I want from you. From there, I stopped thinking about the negatives. You know, there's so much which were thrown against me, even in my own church. The accusations which were made that hurt me to the level that they could hurt me. But I said that, God, you know me better than anybody else. Because they are not forgetting, this is a woman, everyone knows that you are single. Men could still young. Admire me.
So that was almost my next question. Guys were there, guys hitting on you.
There are even people who are ready to marry me. But I was still loved with the dead. I was still loved with my husband. I could not break that. I don't want to break that. I told that guy that I didn't even promise him that till death do us part. So I'm still married to him.
Could there be a reason why you're not married? Maybe you thought, maybe what will people say about me getting remarried? Because, you know, for men, as men, maybe the society doesn't judge us when we remarry. Yeah. For you as a woman, maybe was that one of your fear, that maybe if you get remarried, people will judge me in church, or people will think about this in church? Because there are some pertinent issues that maybe people don't talk about to women. So
by that, I didn't think of that. I think that I just didn't get the right person.
It was the love.
Because somebody could, Katia, but I'm not seeing Eric there. I'm looking at you, I'm looking at your belt. It's not of the standard. I'm looking at shoes. Everything was just wrong. By then, Eric was, I didn't find him.
Was a classy man.
If at all I got him, in me he was the best. If at all I got him, maybe I could have gone. But I didn't get him. Yes, I'm a human being. We could have I go for a date, but it doesn't last. Back at the time, I told myself, am I bewitched? But I said no. Then what did I do? I told God that I want you. I want you to give me. I want to make my children, because I had so many. I told you I was coming from a humble background. One of the reasons maybe I didn't go ahead. I passed so well, I got a B. Where I didn't even go with my education was my mother. Maybe she could not make it. So I promised that I have to make these children get the best education they can get until the level anybody would want. Because I said, I have 2 hands, 2 legs, brains that can think. They have to. I now dedicated myself and my love I've developed to my children. So God has been so faithful. I did 2 short courses on my own way as I was doing odd jobs. I got myself into marketing. Before my husband died, I had enrolled for marketing course with Maseno, but I could not now go on with it because now the responsibility was so much. Yes. Now my girls, they've all gone. I met them. They've all gone to universities. They are all graduates. I have an environmentalist with Cheryl. I have Lovians, who is love, the way we call love. Love is a quantity surveyor. My boy is now doing Form 4, and the little girl I have as my own child also, she's also in secondary, she's going to Form 2. So God has been so faithful. My husband left me when we didn't even have a home back home. But I said that I have to build somewhere, watu wataita hapa pale ni kwa Eric.
So back at home at Kindle Bay, you have a structure.
I have a structure. I have a home. In Kijalu, you call it Dalana. You know, I have a home, a beautiful one. And I would love somebody to say, I'm going to Kwa Eric. You know, and a very big tank. I'm next to the road where there's a portrait of my husband. And that one I've given the community. Wakikuja kuchota maji, because Karachuonyo is dry. Wakikuja kuchota maji, they see my husband because he was a giving man. So I'm like, I have to give it back. Even if in his kind of image. So I have a big portrait with his picture. So when anybody comes to chota maji, you still see him. So you can see how much I'm still attached to this guy. And then up home, I was saying that you never know about tomorrow. You see, I would love a home. I have girls. I would not love to have that. I'm in a rental house. I told God that, please, because those are the kind of plans we had with my husband. That one day we have our home, our home. You know, not our house. So in Nairobi, I wanted a home. I want when my children or my girls will be ready to get into marriage, washa introduce maybe this kijana kwangu, Hawapati kama the next day landlord ameniambia mama hama, hama nataka kurenovate hii nyumba. No, I wanted a home that even if they bring their people, we'll always be there.
Actually, I can attest to that. This home is beautiful. It's a match on it. By the way, inaenda hadi juu, yeah?
And this is all God given. Without trust in God and discipline, I don't have such a big job that I'll say that I have. But every penny that gets into my hands counts. Actually, I'm an entrepreneur. By the time Corona kicked in, I think I slept for 3 good days with tears, telling God, what do? I need something to do. And then God brought me something that I didn't think that He could bring for me. Something I didn't even see myself doing in my life. After working in very big companies, I didn't think God could bring that into my life. God told me that you have to get out and sell fish. Then I was like, sure, nitaenda aje kwa barabara na samaki? How will I? And even and one thing about this family, we are so much, everything we do is together. I call my girls, Mom, nataka kuanza kazi ya samaki. How, Mom? Kambia nataka kuchoma samaki nikiuzia wa mama. They told me, Mom, no. She told me, Mom, no. No, Mom, you can't do that. Kambia, I'll do that because I dreamt about it and it was God telling me to do that. Since 2020 when Corona came, actually, that samaki has made this ceiling. And it's a gypsum. That samaki made it. I went to do it. I connected myself with the internet coming. I'm an online. I don't like. There was thing that I could go and sit up there. I don't do that. I take orders for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I have clients. I have my car shop. I've opened it.
I have seen you open a hotel. I've eaten your food actually. How is your customer?
So that hotel, it's called Melody Fish Palace. If you want good fish, people like around my place here, Utawala, they come to take fish from my shop. It's the best. And I've trained the girls who are working there. It's the best place. Then my daily orders, I always make them like different estates, Lavington, where around here. So I'm like, when I wake up, I know where I'm taking my produce. So it has been so okay that it has also helped us. So one thing, don't be in this single life. When you live yourself, that I'm a widow, by there I've never seen myself that. I've never seen myself as a widow because I have my 2 hands. Even in these families, you never know what happens. Maybe it's ladies working hard. Me, even from the church view, I told God no. Because when I used to be in church long time, I could see that, wacha tuchangie widow fulani hana unga. I told God no. Because I'm your wife, I don't want to changiwa because you have all the wealth. Why should somebody? It's me to give them.
But there, before even you go on, I want to ask you something. I know Adventist church, it's a church of order, right? And the Adventist church has also come up with a department called singles, right? Where those people whom their spouses have passed on, they can come together and maybe encourage each other, yeah? Do you think the church has, even after coming up with this department, do you think the church has really done enough for you singles? Or are there some challenges that you guys are also facing as single women and single men?
Yes, so in these departmentals, now, like in a church, a setup, you'll get the adults, the couples, that is, singles are there, youths are there. You see, this is the moment that is, I think, the loveliest moment that people do not want to. You feel adults are wanna check, guys are really laughing. Huko kwa youth, people are laughing, children, and then we come to singles. The pastor we were given, I'm so sorry, the pastor again talks about verses that just reminds us of our husbands. Not knowing here we have a woman of like 80 years with us, of like 70 years. Also, we have a child, a young girl whose husband died. The girl is basically maybe 20 years. So you see, we should get speakers who'd really want to do what? Also make the department like, yes, they died. We want to bring them back. Make us lively. Make us also feel at home, at Jesus' feet. Because there's not a place to keep on doing what?
So maybe the verses
crying.
That maybe okay.
Yes. Mjane mwenye amefanya nini, atafanya nini. Just give us also verses to encourage us. Tell us how to take care of our children. Tell us how to take care of these advances coming our ways. Give us things that also make us laugh. Because you are crying and somebody next to you is laughing. It's a big thing. Again, I thank the church for bringing this department. And I say thank you to singles. By the way, like in our church, I think singles are so tied together that at times when we have our problems, we can sort them at our...
You have a WhatsApp group?
Yes, we can sort them on our own level. When one of us needs help, we'll do it ourselves. We won't go to the church because... And in most cases, like I'm 18 years old in singlehood. I'm being in this church where my husband died in this church. There's no any single day, apart from maybe a friend, that maybe, even by then, they've said, let's go and see how this lady is doing. Let's take to her maombi. By then, there's a challenge I've not told you about raising children alone. Like me, I'm a firstborn. My husband was a firstborn, so we don't have big people that I can take to these children.
Look upon to.
They don't have uncles. So this is a moment I deal with this teenage thing alone. At times you cry yourself off. Fee inakuja. Inakuja wanafungua. Like the moment they were 3, fee hakuna. You really want to share with him. So, this is the moment that this guy just comes the way he is. You that, why did you die?
Someone maybe judges you from your children.
Yes.
And
then maybe when kids reach, and they like us Adventists, I'm not afraid to say, we like judging a lot. These our children, they go to universities. Some of them hata maybe haku prick masikio. Amekuja those days anavaa vitu hata wewe uelewi wewe ujui. This kid you took her from Adventurers, Pathfinder, Ambassador. And then Ambassador hapa, things that didn't happen, you don't understand. You crow. And there I told you that I got married at the age what? 19.
And Ambassador.
Sikujua hata story ya kuenda out. Actually, I didn't know. I never went out in my life. So when somebody told that, Mom, there's a bash. I don't understand what bash is. You don't have to go. When I don't understand how my daughter can come back at 8, at 10 in the house. It baffles me. Then these are the challenges I have to deal with them alone. And then when, yes, at times announcements are made there, you hear, then you say that God forgive me. Because somebody will think like you have to be blamed for all this.
Someone judges you from that.
Then your kid stops going to church. Maybe she was an ambassador. She had braids. And I remember those braids, you are not supposed to say, ametolewa kwa stage when she was singing. That's the end of her with church.
Or handling also that age is so... Because
an ambassador,
any single thing you do to I have friends who have also been...
I have a living example in my house. My kid, alitolewa because alikuwa na braids. She never wanted to go back to church. And even if she goes, she sits alone and gets back. And from there, people know, we know, I do my part, but you've never seen even these people in their departments taking charge that, can we look for these children? These were children. I mean, don't just say that you didn't teach your children. It's not the way.
Actually, I have friends whom I used to sing with, Pathfinder, ambassadors, and just a single thing, because someone maybe told him that don't do this or don't do that in a harsh way. I tell you, up to now, they're not in church.
They're out.
So maybe an advice to those people who are handling such cases in church, maybe to see on how, or come with mechanisms on how they handle this age. Because I think at that age, because you told me they went through Adventurers, they went through Pathfinder, because at that age at Ambassador, that's where most of young people leave the church.
Very true.
Yeah, so I really feel you.
I'm a living example. If only that our people, those leaders, could actually come up with something so that these kids are always together, like a meetup. Like I'm told, I'll go and tell my daughter, you are supposed to go and meet. You are meeting with the kids of Kinazeki. You are meeting these people. They'll come together. And through that, these kids are not the same. There are some people who are so good, And not that those ones who don't come to church, they just differed in one way or the other.
One way or another.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think there should be a mechanism or bring this. Because why should our children get lost when they reach ambassadors?
And
Because there are now forces outside. Universities bring theirs, the other places bringing. They are coming out. They are knowing them. They are adventuring themselves. Even in the law of Kenya, after 18, you are an adult. You see, my kid could not be able even to prick the ear, but when she becomes an adult, I can do what I want. You see, so these are the kind of challenges singles deals with. You know, you have to deal with your watoto, you have to deal with the neighbors, you have to deal with the church. And then you even get at times, when you become a single, like, there are so many ladies who are so active and the husbands are there, but then become singles. Even the easiest job you can be given in church, you are not given. So I don't understand why. You see? But anyway, amongst all, I tell those singles people, be steady, be disciplined. Whatever somebody says that you know is not right, be firm. I know many people say that, unless you're a strong woman, but I'm not strong. I think I'm the weakest woman. I'm so emotional, but I try to hide. Our hearts are so delicate. If these people could just see, I always say something, so I don't know whether it's wrong, but like in our community, in our church, wanaenda, they tell you this and that. Maybe ulikosa ukweli because, but how they handled you. Because when I'm having my husband, even if I'm handled vibaya, there's somebody who will come and console me. But this is a widow, you've handled her so badly, she goes home, she's crying, nobody, only the ceiling is there with her. So I think as God's people, we should do this. We should take care of these people in the smartest way. Even the Bible tells us so. Take care of them once in a while. Go visit them. Go with your wife. Arrange as a church. Visit them. You might be so shocked what you'll see there. You might be so shocked that the kind of face you see when you get in that house is not the kind of face you're seeing in church. Yeah.
Wow, this has really been a moment, and you've really made me think a lot about life. Yeah, life has a lot of things. You don't just see someone like this, maybe because you're ever smiling whenever someone sees you in church. You're ever smiling, you're ever laughing, but come at the end of it, at the background, things are really what you go through. You said only you and the ceiling only know. Yeah, so I think it's only through God's grace that we can handle whatever life brings us upon. Yeah. And as we are winding up, there are so many challenges that are hitting single ladies. Yeah, perhaps there is someone who's watching us right now, and he or she, it can be both sides, or even an orphan who really feels that life hasn't served him or her right up to right now, and feels that he's lost hope, doesn't want to do anything with God, doesn't want to do anything with friends, has left the church because of one way or another. But I like the kind of woman you are. You're strong. You're still in church despite everything that is coming upon you or across you. You've really stood firm with the word of God, which is good. I want you to look at that camera over there and talk to that someone who's really watching and has lost hope in singlehood, and just give an advice for them.
Maybe my parting shot.
Yeah.
To all the single people outside there, life is sweet. In fact, by being a single is the sweetest life I think I'm enjoying. You are your own boss. You are your own CEO. But what I tell anybody, be smart. Trust in God. Have hope. Have your resolutions every year. And make sure you hit the target. And make sure you reach there. If you can't reach, get friends who are positive in life. See the kind of friends you surround yourself with. And above all, it's God and discipline. If you really want to go on with your life, that's very true. Look for that man, look for that woman that you can share with your life. If you really want to stay alone, stay, because like to the widows, don't bring somebody in your life, like a man in your house who will make your life more miserable. More miserable. That mboga you eat it with love. Make it the best. Make your house, even if you are sweeping, like this house I've swept for like 3 years. It was the best house. namwaga water kila mahali hapa. If you come to my house, it's so clean. Be clean in your house, in your dressing. When you go out, don't wear a long face. Be very smart. I mean, I confuse Poso a lot, even if I don't have a single cent. But when I step out, you'll not see that. But above all, in everything you do, trust in God. That was has carried me for the last 18 years. The guy, the boy that I gave birth to is now doing exams. That's 18. So I have a testimony. And I always pray that God, I want to be on a mountain that when anybody stands, can see and say that was a widow. And that's what we've seen God. To me, I see God. And I always tell people that my God is better than anybody's God. Because I've seen his hands and we are still going far. You lady, you man who is single, we'll go far together. Carry that smile. If you want to cry, because these people come back to our lives, these husbands come, we miss them a lot. Go and cry yourself off. But after that, wash your face, do your best cream,
stand strong.
Stand strong. And that's the thing.
By the way, of all your 3 kids, nani ukimuonanga hivi, if you see him or her like this, unasema, I can see Eric. You
see that guy over there, that's young boy, that's the father. That's the father. By the way, I don't know how to call him because he has Eric Muga Gumbo. My husband was Eric Muga Gumbo. I don't know how to call him. These days, vile amekuwa mkubwa, so we used to call him Babas. You know that, old Babdos. So when I called him, I said, Mom, please don't call me Baba. I also had to explain why I'm calling him that. Because I never used to call my husband the names, but my child has his own names. What will I do? At times it forces him, but I'm like, even my daughters can never call him Eric. They call him Baba. Eric, those people who know the father, he's just a copyright. So that's all one of the miracles I saw in God. Everybody. In fact, maybe you'll see, there's a part I've done my husband's photo with him. You'll not differentiate.
I think it's running right now on the screen. And tukimaliza, I really thank you for hosting us today.
You're most
You've
welcome.
really come here. We were received as kings. It was like our homes. It was really nice for you hosting us. And I really pray that God to give you strength to journey on in this life. And also to continue being an inspirational to other single ladies who have lost their loved ones. And also, I believe this story will go a long way in reaching souls. I always say that if at all we, as the connection, we don't get even 1,000 views or 10,000 views, but your story has changed one person, then your work and my work here on this show today is done.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
So I believe it will go a long way and it will touch a soul somewhere.
Thanks so much.
Yes. So, asante sana.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you, and may God
welcome back again in this house.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes. That was really an inspiring story, and I really feel this is one of the stories that have been touched. And you back at home there, maybe you're going through any other difficult moment in your life. You don't have a job. You have nothing even to offer. You really feel frustrated with life. I want to encourage you back there at home that cling on this Jesus, cling on this God. He's the one who opens the way for all of us.